President Biden grieved with that community in Texas on Sunday. Our next guest presided over the church service the president and first lady attended. The Archbishop of San Antonio, Texas, is Gustavo Garcia Siller, and he joins us now. Mr. Archbishop, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. What was that service like for you with a grieving community, and how did you attempt at least to begin to offer some comfort?
Well, the celebration of the Mass with the president and his wife, it was very heartfelt. The community experienced the presence and the care of the president. We were able to pray and celebrate those lives. Now they are gone, and their families. At this point, what we are engaging is in the 11 funerals that we are going to celebrate at Sacred Heart Parish. And we are in the planning because 11 funerals, as you can imagine, in these circumstances are very painful to start with, but also not that easy. How to connect in the right way with families, with the community, and with the emotions and the reactions that are going to take place during these days. So we are ready in the sense of we have offered to do all what we can to accompany the people and to move on their pace.
It strikes me, Archbishop, looking at the clock right now, it's just after 8 o'clock. And 1 week ago, 8 o'clock in Uvalde, 1 week ago, those parents were either dropping off now or had just dropped off their children. They never could have dreamed in their worst nightmares that it would be the last time they saw them. What do you say to a family? I know a lot of us are struggling with talking to our own families and our own children, but how can you possibly, there's no sense to be made of it, but how can you possibly give peace and comfort to a family who has suffered something like this?
Well, the main venue for us, for me, in the last week has been gestures of care. Could be an embrace, could be the way I look at them, the way I listen to them, even if they have few words or not one word. Another way is inviting them, have you share what is in your heart with your husband or with your wife, and to start building some dialogues, because at least the first few days there was a shock. Then when they knew that their child or their spouse was killed, it was the grieving. And then it was the gathering of families. But there was a lot of silence, a lot of crying, and that crying that you don't see, not bursting in tears, but that cry that is tired, that is painful, that is difficult. The different ministers and lay people throughout the city have been very helpful in being present and foster moments of prayer, even if the people who are hurting, they cannot convey their thinking. So another way that it was helpful to me in several occasions was to meet individually. So I met with 5 of the children who survived, but being with them personally, little ones, they were able to say more, to express themselves. And I know that is hard for adults to comprehend. They prefer not to talk about it. I think it's much better, in my little experience and what I have learned these days, is to let them express themselves, even if it's in a very down phase, whatever expression. Also, as a group, I met with the children of another school that we have close by to Uvalde, and the children of the same age from 9 to 11, they were able to express how they feel about the children who passed away. So we need to adapt. We are for them. They are not for us. We are for them.
Right.
And then to slowly move, slowly at their pace.
I can only imagine, Archbishop, those conversations with the children who survived, who were in the classroom or in that school. Joe Scarborough was with us, Archbishop. And Joe, I'm just looking at a line the Archbishop spoke outside his church last week when he said, we're supposed to promote life, the life of people. It's people's lives. We have to be consistent in our ethics, talking about the measures that need to be taken to protect the lives of children like the ones who died in that school. Joe.
Right, and we again, unfortunately, we see the numbers and we see how many children die every year. It shocks the conscience. I am wondering, Mr. Archbishop, what words do you have for the elected leaders of the people of Uvalde, the people of Texas, the people of this country who right now are so discouraged and they're so downtrodden and so distressed that tragedies like the ones that we saw a week ago continue in this country, it seems, endlessly?
Well, I think our leaders, they need to be in touch with reality, and not their reality in the way they see it, in the reality of the people. People are not being heard. People are not being touched. In the experience of the visit of the president, I accompanied him for 3 hours as he was visiting with every person of the extended family, the family and the extended family. Try to connect with them, and if the person is not at the front of the conversations, the individuals, the families, then it continues being the stock market, guns, business, power, control, and we have been seeing movements that are leading to a very expression of tyrant leadership. And it's because people are not in touch with reality. When we're in touch with reality, there are always possibilities of building up a little bit more humane connection, relationship. And we don't hear that much. In the last years, the person has been put down. People have become a number, have become a thing, and not a person. And it's a conversion. It's a conversion of hearts, and hearts in us in leadership. Otherwise, we continue finding our own way for our own agenda and our own prestige, and that will not work. Also, what I experience is that the families are willing to do something for their beloved ones. Are we willing to do something for them? Now that these funerals are lining up, and our parish community in Sacred Heart, we're going to have 11 of them. We cannot just plan 11 of them like that was a unit. We need to be adapted to each family. When I met with the children, the teacher, and the husband who passed away, there were like 50 people in the family, extended family, and I invited just the 4 of them to be to a room they wanted, and we went. And the 4 of them, I asked them, I didn't know what to tell them. I was there for them with love, but I told them, have you talked about it? What has been going on among yourselves? No. what do you like to tell your sister? That's the only thing I said. At the very end of an hour and a half, we prayed the Our Father, and then we went to join the rest of the extended family. So we need to let them to be at the center of what is happening. And that is difficult. I believe with my whole heart that gun control has to take place in a more radical way, because we see the instruments of all what is happening in the country regarding shootings includes arms, and the people who use them, or purposely or because other factors like drugs or even mental health, is the use of guns.
Yes.
And we have made gun an idol in this country.
And there will be 11 funerals for children this week, fourth graders, 11 funerals for fourth graders, and one for one of their brave teachers this week, Mrs. Garcia. Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller, thank you, sir, for your leadership, your grace, and for the comfort you're bringing, at least in some measure, to that community. Thank you so much, sir, for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We pray.
Still ahead this morning on Morning Joe, we will take you to the White House, where President Biden is facing growing pressure to take action on the issue of guns ahead of a key